Welcome, LA Progressive friends and family, readers and viewers. Today I'm sitting down with a longtime friend, Lloyd Wilkey. Lloyd is the president and CEO of the Mindful Policing Institute. And surprisingly, he's also involved in the fifth annual Las Vegas Masters Boxing Championship. And Lloyd is going to talk to us a little bit about how that came to be. How did he get involved in this and why at this time in his life? Lloyd,
Right.
welcome.
Thank you. It's been a long time since I've seen you, and I'm happy to, be a part of this and get a chance to tell my little story. uh, you mentioned the Mindful Policing Institute. It's been a dream of mine and a passion for a long time to create some sort of a platform where we could study the ways that law enforcement and public safety officials are trained and figure out ways that we can influence that training from a, I guess, a civilian perspective, right? I want the public to be involved in the training of law enforcement. That's been my primary goal, really. But anyway, aside from that, on the boxing thing, I've been a boxing instructor with young people for 25 years or so, but I've never actually participated in a boxing match myself, right? I've never been a boxer. um, and so this will be my first fight. And I just turned 68 years old.
I had no idea. I didn't know how old you were. I can't believe that you're older than me. I didn't think that you were. So this is when you decide to go into boxing. After you become a senior citizen. You've got
Right.
to tell us this story.
Well, it's kind of long, but I'll keep it as short as I can. Being a part of USA Boxing, you see these things advertised from time to time, and this is a Masters tournament. It was an ad that came up in my Facebook feed. Masters tournaments for people who are 35 years old and older, and there's no top limit. um, and I didn't really know how big of a thing this really was, and I didn't really pay that much attention to it when I saw it. I just kind of scrolled past it, and it was in Las Vegas on top of that, and so I, the important part here is that is the reason that I actually entered the tournament and kind of wanted to do this. Um, I lost my wife just a bit over a year ago, and you and I have talked about this before. But when this thing came up, it seemed, I don't know, it just seemed like a way that I could process uh, the energy that I was feeling, and a way to sort of work through my grief, right? My boxing coaches surrounded me with their open arms, and and they've been taking care of me through a pretty tough time and helping me, along with a lot of other people, right? Just that have just been there for me, right? But I saw this thing, and I looked at it, and then I went to sleep, and in my dream, I was having a conversation with my wife, and I was telling her about the boxing tournament. And I said, I'm thinking about joining. And she said, "Are you crazy?" That was her typical response. Anyway, she was not into boxing, and she was especially not for me. Uh, she was always trying to get me to go somewhere and sit down, as she said. But we continued this conversation all night in my dream. And at the end of the dream, she said to me, "I know you're going to do it anyway. But if you do it for a cause." And so I searched and searched all that day for a cause, and then I realized that she had been associated with this local Catholic school around the corner from me for many, many years. She'd been the president of the school board, and she was always trying to raise money for the school. And they're an excellent school. My daughter went there. She graduated from there in the 8th grade. But anyway, I decided that would be the cause. And so I've put up a GoFundMe account and all that. And really the purpose of me doing this is to honor her legacy in some sort of way, right? And so I'm into this thing, and I've been training since October. And this Saturday will be the first fight in the tournament. I have to drive to Las Vegas, and there will be 300 other fighters there from all around the world. I never knew it was such a big thing until after I signed up for it. It's an amazing kind of story. And then, here's another layer to it. Just quickly, a side story. I go over to the school to tell the principal about my idea. And so, I go to the principal's office, and I never met the woman before, and we sat down and we were talking. I said, I kind of got this wacky idea about doing this fundraiser. I'm going to do this boxing thing and this and that. And she starts chuckling. And I'm like, well, what are you laughing at? And she says, I'm a Golden Gloves champ. I've had over 40 fights myself.
Wow.
So, I mean, the story just has so many different layers to it, and the way that things have been coming together. I'm excited about it, and I'll fight on Saturday morning. There is a live stream that people can link up to. I'm fighting 3 rounds, and they're a minute and a half each. And I'm fighting.
So how will people know where the live stream is?
I could send you a link.
Is it on Facebook?
Yes, it should be on Facebook. USA Masters Boxing.
Okay. All right. I'll put a link in down at the bottom so that people can watch this 68-year-old first-time boxer in his first boxing match in Las Vegas, no less.
No less. How about that?
And so I've known you for many years, and I know you as being a peace lover, a musician, a person that talks about mindful policing. So boxing, I'm kind of like your wife. That's not my thing. It seems like a brutal sport, but tell me, how do you feel about boxing and the role that it can play in staying physically fit? And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you go ahead and talk about that.
Well, wow, I could talk endlessly about that. It does seem counterintuitive for someone who's a practitioner of mindfulness and one who is walking, in the world trying to make peace, to be engaged in such a violent sport, right? It's interesting. It's all in how you approach it. I've always approached it the way that martial artists approach, their art, and there's a science to it. There's creativity to it. But what I've known is that once I came into boxing and applied myself to that rigorous training, it did things to me. And it's not what, as I said, I've never really fought anybody. So I'm not really engaged in combat all the time. I'm in combat with myself most of the time. I'm working on my own self-discipline and my focus and my attention, placing my attention in the moment on whatever it is that I'm practicing. It's a practice, and it becomes a lifelong thing for some of us, and there's a fraternity or whatever to it. And there are women that are also really devoted to the sport. And they're, it in some places, depending on who's in charge and who's approaching it, it's a sport, and it's there's a discipline to it. But then there are others who approach it differently, and it becomes something else.
Yeah, something, but so there is another side to it. And I know that when I was growing up, I'm from the Bronx and Queens, and in the underserved communities, oftentimes there were opportunities for young men, primarily young men. During my youth, there weren't really opportunities for young women to get involved in boxing, but it was a way to keep them focused on something more positive than the streets.
Right. So, the whole total aim of the program that I was a part of up until COVID, uh, for about 27 years, was boxing, self-defense, and leadership. Right. Those were the three things we were focused on with the young people, and we had young people as young as 8, and ranging up until their 20s and 30s. They were all all working it out together.
So they must be shocked that you're actually entering a boxing match. I'm sure they're cheering you on.
Yeah, a number of them. I'm still in touch with many of them, and one of my best students, he's going to travel with me to Vegas, and he's been alongside me for at least 20 years.
Wow, well, that's amazing. And really, even though your wife says you must be crazy, I'm sure she's looking down on you saying, yeah, I know he was going to do it, but he's doing it for a good cause. And so I'm sure she's proud of that.
Thank you. Yeah, I think so. I think so. As long as I don't go to Vegas and embarrass her.
So how do you feel? Are you nervous about it?
Yeah, I am. Well, nervous isn't the word. It's anxious, I guess. I want to be there. I just want to hear the bell. Let's go get it. It's the waiting beforehand. You see me wearing this plastic suit. I'm just above my weight class right now, so I'm within striking distance of that. If you weigh in overweight, you get disqualified.
Oh my gosh. So you have
Those,
until Saturday
uh
to shed how much weight?
Well, I'm close. I was right on the dot this morning, so I just need to stay there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the audience can't see you. I know you, but I've always known you to be so fit. It's amazing. You told me you were 68 years old because I mean, you look like without the gray hair, no one would ever guess. Your body, you're like a 30-year-old. So I'm sure that all this training that you're doing, you're even more fit.
Well, thanks a lot. I just hope I did enough training.
Well, Lloyd Wilkey, I wish you the best. I'm really proud that you made a point to take that energy and turn your grief into something that will generate some revenue for the school that your wife gave so many years of her life to, that the school that your daughter graduated from. Is there anything else that you'd like to say before we close?
Oh, by the way, I'm the LA Riot. That's my little nickname. So, yeah, I'll send you the link to to be able to access it, and I'm excited and looking forward to coming back on the show later on
and talking about it. All righty. Okay, Lloyd. Well, thank you for joining us, and we wish you the best of luck.
Okay, thank you.
So long. Take care.
Thank you for sticking around. If you like the LA Progressive content and the discussions we have here, please consider clicking the subscribe button below and also give us a thumbs up. That helps to grow our audience by feeding the algorithm, which helps to get this content in front of more eyes. Thanks for stopping by. We really appreciate your support.